Entertainment Tonight's Indiana Jones Behind the Adventure. In 1988, rising star River Phoenix won one of the most coveted roles in Hollywood when he was cast as young Indiana Jones.
And while the actor's future seemed brighter than ever, it took a tragic turn just 5 years later when Phoenix died of an overdose at age 23.
He was caught up in a world that overwhelmed him in the end.
He's having seizures on Sunset and Larrabee. Please come here.
He fell to the sidewalk and began having convulsions.
Please get over here, please.
Calm down, okay? Sir, calm down. Tell her
The frantic 911 call was placed by River's younger brother Joaquin, who was there with him outside the now infamous Viper Room that Halloween Eve in 1993. His sister Rain and girlfriend, actress Samantha Mathis, were also at his side. According to the coroner's report, Phoenix fell victim to a lethal cocktail of cocaine, morphine, marijuana, and Valium. Photographer Ron Davis witnessed those horrifying last moments.
It didn't look like he was present. It was just his body, you know, violently jerking.
The wide-eyed young boy with the movie star good looks first impressed Hollywood in 1986 with his role in Stand By Me. By all accounts, he was a sensitive soul who really made his mark in the film My Own Private Idaho, portraying a gay street hustler.
I don't think about any career strategy or about what the audience thinks or what the critics think. It doesn't matter. It's in the heart, you know. You have to decide for a real true place, you know, and not be jaded by the outside world.
River was the eldest of 5 children, born to counterculture parents who celebrated the virtues of veganism and holistic living. E.T. visited the Phoenixes at their home in 1987, but the family led a primarily nomadic existence for the first half of River's short life. His parents worked as migrant fruit pickers and were members of the evangelical cult Children of God.
They indulged a hippie lifestyle. They did drugs like everyone else at that time. And River was was actually born in a commune in Madras, Oregon.
Though he had experimented with drugs before, it was reportedly on the set of My Own Private Idaho that River's on-again, off-again addiction began. No one thought it was a serious problem, and despite his lack of a formal education, River seemed to everyone a young man possessing wisdom far beyond his years.
There'd be great big gaps in, you know, history. He wouldn't know who President Truman was, for instance. He wouldn't know sort of basic people in history, yet he could speak probably 3 languages.
And action.
My most potent memory, I think, is riding around on the top of the train with him when we were out in Utah. We were shooting the scene on this, you know, the opening scene on the train, going across this beautiful countryside, and he was a very talented actor.
River was just 17 years old when he won the coveted role as the young Indiana Jones. He had already starred opposite Ford in Mosquito Coast, and even though they didn't share any scenes in their new project, Harrison proved to be a gracious coach.
Harrison came out, and he helped me a lot with motivation. You know, where does all this come from? What propels him, and what makes him really cool when he has to jump off of a horse and onto a train.
There is little doubt that River would have one day become a strong presence in Hollywood, but sadly, he would never get that chance.
You know, he had a great career, but it would have, you know, have been nice to have another 50 years of it.
Harrison Ford became the world's biggest box office star, playing larger-than-life heroes like Indiana Jones. Off-screen, the actor has proven he can also be a real-life hero and has had his own brushes with danger.
I am a very cautious pilot.
But despite all his caution in the cockpit, Harrison crashed his $1 million Bell helicopter in a remote area north of Los Angeles while practicing landings in 1999. The actor and a flight instructor on board were unhurt, and Ford told Bob in an interview conducted a month before the mishap that when in the air, he's always conscious of what could go wrong.
You just forewarn yourself against potential, which is always there for accident.
The subject had come up in light of another crash that proved fatal.
I was shocked at the loss of John and Caroline, her sister.
Were they friends of yours?
I had talked to John on numerous occasions about flying because it was an interest we had in common. And it's a great tragedy for the family.
Recently, Harrison's skills as a pilot were put to the test. He rescued a Boy Scout who had gotten lost hiking in Yellowstone National Park. Last year, on his first mission, he flew to the aid of 20-year-old hiker Sarah George after after she was stranded in the Grand Tetons suffering from dehydration. Ford has a home in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and had volunteered his services and his helicopter for search and rescue.
And so I got in the helicopter and they hooked me up, and Harrison turned around and he said, "How you doing?" And I said, "I think I'm okay."
He's been a household name for more than 2 decades, but as he told us in his first E.T. interview in 1982, Harrison never expected overnight stardom.
I knew it was going to take a long time. I always knew that it was going to take a long time.
His career began in 1964 with a few summer stock roles in Wisconsin. He was 22 and married to his college sweetheart. In 1991, Harrison revealed to E.T. how he made the decision that would shape his life.
All I knew about being an actor is you had to go to the East Coast or the West Coast. We put all our stuff in a Volkswagen Beetle and flipped a coin, and it came up New York, and I said, let's make it 2 out of 3, because I was going to be poor, and I didn't want to be cold and poor.
He got parts, just not enough roles that Harrison felt would help him grow as an actor. So in 1968, he put his career on hold.
I was making a fairly good living as a carpenter.
Things changed in 1973 when American Graffiti united Harrison with George Lucas. It was the first of many major successes, but Ford's never been comfortable in Hollywood, and through much of his career, he and his family have called their 800-acre ranch in Wyoming home. Bob visited him there in 1993, and it was clear Harrison relished the privacy.
Every once in a while, somebody drives down the driveway and says, well, hell, here you are. I just wanted to come and see you. Now, that gets a little old, but it doesn't happen very often.
Lately, it's been harder to keep his private life private. Last fall, Harrison and his second wife, E.T. screenwriter Melissa Matheson, separated after 17 years of marriage. The news set off a media firestorm, but after a number of months apart, the couple eventually reconciled their differences and are together. Even living his life in the public eye, Harrison knows he's been very fortunate.
I've had a glorious dose of good luck. I've had more of a share of luck than anybody could expect to have in any one lifetime.
Harrison has certainly come a long way. In the early days of his career, the $20 million man was only paid $150 a week as a day player for Columbia Studios. And we'll be right back.